you are in the easement. Look, if you look at that sign right there.
Park in the easement. The easement goes all the way to the center line.
It's still city property.
I'm done.
Turn around.
Really?
Turn around.
Yes, turn around.
Dude.
Turn around. We're done. We tried. You tried
what?
Okay, how many alcoholic beverages you had tonight?
No.
Nothing?
No, sir.
Alright, you're all good. You said no alcohol tonight?
No, hell no. I don't drink.
It
No.
smells something fruity. What's that?
I don't know. Probably my Pepsi or something.
I was looking for impaired drivers this
Oh
evening.
yeah, I don't take those tests.
You don't?
No.
Pulled him out the car, took him to the ground gently.
Having this in mind, do you wish to talk to us? Yes or no?
Is there a crime that's been committed?
Having this in mind, do you wish to talk to us? Yes or no?
Went to the ground willingly, and we were just like, we were holding on to him as he was going to the ground.
And you have a magazine on your front seat.
Okay, but is that illegal?
We asked him to get on the ground. He willingly went to the ground, but we were just still holding on to him as he was going to the ground.
Get on the ground.
Get on the ground!
Just let you know though, you go on the property.
We don't want to hear directives, man. We don't want to hear directives.
Okay.
Thank you, though. You're dismissed. Thank you. Yes, sir.
How are you? I'm filming too.
How are you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So you can take pictures. Just don't take pictures of private cars or private people here.
First of all, here. No, but listen. I want your IDs, please. Yeah.
No.
What did I do?
Why? Yeah. We gotta commit a crime.
Well, no, you have to commit a crime.
Yes, we
You're
do.
doing suspicious behavior.
Yes.
You got a call for suspicious behavior.
What's your name and badge number?
Yeah.
On this episode of Audit the Audit, we dive into a baffling roadside showdown. A man peacefully dozing in his parked car is suddenly treated like a criminal. Watch as officers claim he's obstructing and loitering, despite the parking, spot being private property, and demand he prove he's not intoxicated. He calmly refuses confusing field sobriety tests and holds firm to his rights, only to be arrested for obstruction with no real legal backing. Stay tuned to see how poor training and shaky ordinances turn a simple nap into an unlawful detention, and ultimately, how this man's persistence exposes a blatant rights violation.
Okay, Parker, you might start master this way. This guy doesn't look like he's alert. He's got some kind of liquid coming out of his mouth, all run down his shirt. How you doing? Not bad. You okay?
Yeah, you?
Not bad. So, what's going on? You sitting in your truck? Okay. You got anything to drink today? No? You got any kind of medication or anything?
Yeah, it's fine. Long drive. One road ahead. One sleep on the road.
Where you coming from?
Other side of Oregon.
Okay, what are you doing here? What are you doing in Pryor? What brings you here?
Stopping on the road.
Where are you headed? North? Okay. You know anybody in Pryor, or you just happen to... Well, I mean, you're kind of pulled off here in this parking lot a little bit weird. You're a little bit in the roadway. So somebody called in on you. Is there a crime?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, standing in the roadway.
Standing in the roadway?
That's what the technical term is for it. Right, that's a medical. It's awake now. I'm talking to him. So I get here, I mean, you're drooling all over yourself. I started medical. I knocked on your window a couple times. Look at your shirt. Whenever I got here, you were actively drooling on yourself. And I knocked on the window. I got no response. So I knocked again.
What's the time of this?
You're partially obstructing the roadway. You're pulled off here on private property. You have no business being here, so that's loitering.
Isn't someone called you?
Somebody called me. I don't know who called me. Dispatch is the one that called me. Somebody called dispatch. It's private property, and you have no business here. Well, I've asked you, and you haven't told me, so... Well, I'm investigating a possible crime.
Okay.
So if you're intoxicated, passed out behind the wheel, if you've taken something,
You're investigating if it's intoxicated?
yeah.
Officer Bennett argues that Mr. Martin's vehicle is quote-unquote partially obstructing the roadway and that he is quote-unquote loitering by being parked on private property. Section 11-1001 of Title 47 of the Oklahoma statutes states that, quote, upon any highway outside of a business or residence district, no person shall stop, park, or leave standing any vehicle, whether attended or unattended, upon the paved or main traveled part of the highway when it is practicable to stop, park, or so leave such vehicle off such part of said highway. The state statute is limited to highways outside of business and residential districts, and because Mr. Martin parked in an apartment building parking lot, it is likely that he was in a residential district. However, Section 6-7-17 of the City Code of Pryor Creek extends this prohibition to any street within the city, stating that, quote, upon any street, no person shall stop, park, or leave standing any vehicle, whether attended or unattended, upon the paved or main traveled part of the street when it is practical to stop, park, or leave the vehicle off such parts of the street. Now, although the city ordinance would apply to the street that Mr. Martin was parked beside, it clearly limits the prohibition to parking upon the paved or main traveled part of the street, and a court would almost certainly find that any minor encroachment by Mr. Martin's truck into the easement on the side of the road did not violate this ordinance. As for any potential so-called loitering violation, neither Oklahoma's criminal code nor the City Code of Pryor Creek contains a general loitering prohibition. Section 1787 of Title 21 of the Oklahoma statutes prohibits loitering in or upon an automobile or motor vehicle without the consent of the owner. But this would obviously not apply to Mr. Martin, as he was in his own vehicle. No other Oklahoma statutes pertain directly to loitering. So, given the limitations on any potentially applicable loitering statutes, it is highly unlikely that a court would conclude that Mr. Martin was engaged in loitering.
Which is okay. I don't have a problem with that. If you're just taking a, if you want to play the, why don't you go ahead and step out of the vehicle for me? Yes, sir. Appreciate it. If you want to, it's up to you. You want to leave the door open or you want to shut it? It's up to you again. I don't care. Do you have identification on you?
No.
You do not. So what is your name and date of birth?
Andrew, A-N-D-R-U, Martin. So this is the road here?
Yeah, I mean,
Or is this the road?
so the city maintains the roadway all the way to here, and then they have an easement over here, and then that's private property. So if you're on private property, you have private property that you have no business being on, and then you're partially in the roadway.
Where's the easement begin?
Say it again.
The easement begin?
The easement begin?
Yeah.
I don't know where the easement begins.
Or ends?
I know where the road begins and ends.
where's
I don't
the
know where
road
the
begin?
easement begins and
Where's
ends.
the road begin and end?
So, do you have a driver's license in any state?
Oh, yeah.
What state do you have your driver's license in?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma?
Do you know where the road begins and ends? I'm
That's a
being,
really weird question.
it's a weird question. Not when I'm being ticketed for parking.
You haven't been ticketed for anything. I've tried to ask you a matter of simple questions so I can conduct my investigation, and all you want to do is be difficult.
I don't want to be difficult.
I mean,
you're being difficult. I was minding my own business and you're bothering me. I don't know how that's me being difficult.
We wouldn't have showed up here if we didn't have a call here. So on you,
Oh, that's first of all, that's not true.
100%
And I
it is.
can, so I can call on you, and that doesn't mean that someone's going to come and investigate you.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
That's exactly how this works.
No, I'd like him investigated because he
Okay.
told me that.
You're good. You, whatever you need to do. I'll
I'll be right back. All right, Mr. Martin. So, the condition that you were in when I got here, like I said, you were pulled off the road here asleep. Looks like, do you live at... You don't live there anymore? It's the address that shows on your driver's license.
Where do you live?
Nearby.
Nearby.
The address.
The relevant question.
It is. I'm literally asking you because you're sleeping in your truck right here, and I don't know that you're going to be safe to drive anywhere. So yeah, it's absolutely.
How would I not be safe? So am I safe to
Where-
drive
what's
to
your
Meadow
address?
Trace, or am I
What's your
safe to
address?
drive to Portland? Or
What's your address?
I don't know what that has to do with it.
It's going to be like this the whole time.
Yeah.
So you can continue to obstruct our
So
investigation.
here's the thing. I can leave you and let you.
comply with your investigation.
You're not required to comply with our investigation.
No, I don't have to assist you.
I mean, you have to answer our questions if we're conducting an investigation.
That's
Otherwise,
exactly.
otherwise you're obstructing our investigation.
Really, is that how the Fifth Amendment works? The Fourth Amendment, First Amendment?
Do you know your amendments?
I don't think you do.
Okay, so I can put you through a couple of standard field sobriety tests and see if you're good to drive. And if you are, then we'll get out of here and we'll let you drive. Okay, and we won't ask you any more
For
questions.
sitting in a vehicle in private property.
Somebody calling in because they were concerned about you because you were partially on the roadway.
A lot closer to harassment on your part than we are.
We can go to the jail and we can do this in front of a
I mean,
judge.
yeah, I'm not-
and
Sure,
we can have that conversation there.
I mean,
If that's what you want to do,
That's absolutely fine.
want to do that. If I wanted to do that, I would have driven to the.
I don't want to do that either. If I wanted to do that,
I would have driven to a parking space and picked it up. See the difference there?
There actually is a law against sleeping in public.
Really?
Yeah.
So
it's a
am I
city
in public
ordinance.
or am I on private property?
If you're at the park, like you just said,
I didn't say the park.
maybe.
I said a parking space.
public
Not on-
public
on
access.
public
So,
property.
do you live in these apartments?
Do you?
Do you live in these apartments?
Do you?
No, I don't live in these
Okay.
apartments. Do you? I answered your question. You going to answer
Well,
mine?
You're giving me a ticket for being in the road.
Have I given you a ticket yet?
Investigating? No, because you can't for being in the roadway.
I can't?
That's what you told me. Well, I mean, you could, but
I give you a ticket for I could pick for being in the roadway or loitering because you're on private property that you claim to have no business being at.
well, I'm sure that I could go in front of a judge and argue my case and be fairly successful rather quickly and easily by.
And that's fine. If you want to go and argue your case in court, if you want to go argue your case in court, that's fine. But I'm not going to argue it with you here on the side of the road.
Right.
Okay, so you
You're
can.
going to give me a ticket for being unsafe when I told you exactly what I did, which was.
He's going to conduct a couple
In the
of
name of
tests,
safety,
field sobriety
right?
tests. Are you willing to comply
Are you
with
willing?
those
Are you
tests?
willing to comply with some field sobriety tests?
So what are my options there? To go to jail?
Are
or do
you
what tell me
willing to comply with the field sobriety test? That's the
incarceration.
question.
Threatening you at all?
Nobody threatened you. Nobody
I am here to do my job.
So I don't have. Am I free to go?
No, you are
No, you're not free to go. We're still conducting our investigation. If you allow me to finish conducting my investigation, and you will.
So here's what I don't understand. I'm not refusing.
Okay.
Okay.
So you'll agree
Well, I
to take
don't-
the state staff?
What I don't understand is what indication that I'm intoxicated I've given.
The officers repeatedly ask Mr. Martin if he will quote-unquote comply with standardized field sobriety tests, or SFSTs. SFSTs are roadside assessments used by law enforcement officers to gauge a driver's level of impairment, typically involving balance, coordination, and cognitive tasks, such as the walk and turn, one-leg stand, and horizontal gaze nystagmus tests. These tests are thought to help officers decide whether probable cause exists to arrest a driver on suspicion of driving under the influence. However, the use of SFSTs is controversial, with critics arguing that the tests are unreasonably subjective, as they rely heavily on an officer's individual judgment, which can lead to inconsistent or biased interpretations of a driver's performance. Other opponents question the scientific basis for relying on SFSTs to produce evidence of impairment. For instance, researcher Stephen Rubenzer concluded in his 2008 publication, The Standardized Field Sobriety Test, a review of scientific and legal issues, that, quote, the SFSTs are not validated as tests of impaired driving or as indicators of loss of normal physical functioning. The SFSTs cannot be used to estimate BAC in court and lack specificity for alcohol. The limited reliability data suggests that variations in administration or scoring from one police officer to another will be a substantial source of error, regardless whether BAC or behavioral impairment is the criterion. The SFSTs were introduced into widespread use before thorough testing was completed and the results independently replicated. Even more than 20 years later, many basic questions concerning their use have not been answered. The effects of many variables, including medical conditions, fatigue, and fear, have not been examined. Further research is needed to justify their widespread use and to establish whether, in light of the current legal environment, the current SFST battery is the best available or good enough for distinguishing those who are impaired from those who are not. Regardless of the controversy, Secondly, courts currently recognize FSTs as valid, and officers regularly use them to gather additional evidence of impairment when investigating a potential DUI offense. However, Oklahoma law does not require citizens to submit to FSTs if they are suspected of DUI, and they retain the right to refuse to participate. Well, given that FSTs are voluntary and not required by law, a driver's refusal to perform these tests cannot be characterized as quote-unquote willfully obstructing an officer in the performance of a duty in violation of Oklahoma's obstruction statute. Accordingly, while the officers were free to request that Mr. Martin participate in SFSTs, they would not be in their lawful authority to arrest him solely for refusing to quote-unquote comply with testing.
At any point in this, other than I drove nicely, is that against the law?
It's uncommon at 3 o'clock in the afternoon for somebody to be asleep behind the wheel of their vehicle.
How many police
not
officers are asleep?
legally parked in a parking space on private property?
Will you comply with the field sobriety test or not?
Or what? Oh, I
Yes
remember
or
you.
no?
What?
Yes,
I
yes or
remember
no?
You. Do you remember me? Don't
No.
you?
Yes or
I
no?
bet you do. Okay. Now I feel like this is harassment. Is there a supervisor available?
He
That's
is
me.
the
I'm the
supervisor.
Where's your supervisor?
He is the supervisor
I am the
of
supervisor.
We
this
had
shift.
this same conversation. Was that you? Were you there?
I don't believe so. I don't believe I've ever met you before.
I don't even know where I would have met you. It's yes or no? Yes or no?
See,
Yes or no?
You didn't understand what private property was when you were in an apartment complex. You thought that was public property. Do you remember that now?
Do you live
I
in this
say we
apartment
just-
complex?
No, he doesn't. I'm familiar. So I think we should just go to Mace County Jail.
I'm going to go to the county jail for...
Obstruction at this point.
All you want to do is sit and argue.
I'm not arguing.
He
I'm
was
asking-
intoxicated then.
No, I wasn't.
And that's what I feel like he's intoxicated now. Otherwise, you wouldn't be passed out behind the wheel of his
I
vehicle.
wasn't passed out. I was asleep. That's why I woke up when you knocked. I told you I drove to this parking space to do that. I'd like to speak to a supervisor.
He is
You
the
are speaking to a
supervisor.
I'd like to speak
supervisor.
to your supervisor.
They're all out right now.
That's weird. That happens every time I want to speak to a supervisor.
There's one
You asked
supervisor
for my
assigned.
supervisor and he's right here.
There's one
His
supervisor.
supervisor.
There's one
You
supervisor
don't just
assigned
keep
per
it-
shift. Okay, that's me.
Okay. So then, if
At
you're
6
the
o'clock
one-
this
if
afternoon,
you're
there
the
will
one
be a
that's-
different
if you're the one
supervisor
that's
here.
violating people's laws, then we're just all.
I mean,
That's a
you don't.
conversation you can have with the judge.
You don't have a
if you-
constitutional right to speak to a supervisor anyway. I'm trying to work with you here.
We've tried. We've tried to ask you. You don't have a ticket in your hand.
Okay, so am I free to go?
No, you've
Okay,
been
you're
asked if
threatening
you will
me with
comply.
arrest for sitting in the car, taking a nap. When I told you I'm taking a nap because I'm too tired to drive. Had a little bit further to go, and I was tired, so I pulled over and took a nap.
And you won't even tell me
What
how
does it say
far
in the
that is
Oklahoma
to
driver's
go.
manual to do when you're becoming too tired to drive? You say you should keep on going? Pull over somewhere safe to sleep?
Somewhere safe to sleep. I mean, I don't think that
Where
that's.
is somewhere safe?
I mean, legally parked, we could argue that, even though this isn't.
We've gone over this and over this and over this. You're not even in a parking spot at all.
I'm not in
You're not in a parking spot. We got called here because of you specifically, and this truck specifically.
I'm not in the road.
You are in the easement. Look, if you look at that sign right there,
Park in the easement. The easement
and
goes all the way to
the
the center line.
it's still
of those
city
locations.
property.
I'm done.
Turn around.
Turn around.
Yes, turn around.
Dude.
Turn around. We're done. We tried.
You tried what?
Officer Bennett claims that Mr. Martin is quote-unquote obstructing the officer's investigation by not answering their questions. Oklahoma law defines obstruction broadly. According to Section 540 of Title 21 of the Oklahoma statutes, quote, any person who willfully delays or obstructs any public officer in the discharge or attempt to discharge any duty of his or her office is guilty of a misdemeanor. Courts have found that this statute can cover both physical and non-physical interference with an officer's duties. However, citizens are generally not required to assist officers in their investigations, even when they have been lawfully detained. As the Supreme Court explained in the 1984 case of Berkemer versus McCarty, during a Terry stop, quote, the officer may ask the detainee a moderate number of questions to determine his identity and to try to obtain information confirming or dispelling the officer's suspicions. But the detainee is not obliged to respond, and unless the detainee's answers provide the officer with probable cause to arrest him, he must then be be released. Now, there may be an exception to this general rule when a citizen has a legal obligation to provide answers to the officer's question. For instance, in the 2004 case of Heibel versus 6th Judicial District Court of Nevada, the Supreme Court held that it did not violate the Fourth Amendment for a state to require a suspect to disclose his name in the course of a Terry stop. In reaching this conclusion, the court discussed the language in the Berkemer case, determining that the passage merely recognized that the Fourth Amendment itself did not require citizens to answer questions, but states were still permitted to create an independent legal obligation that detainees identify themselves, such as a stop and identify statute. Similarly, in the 2011 case of Koch versus City of Del City, the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals, which has jurisdiction over Oklahoma, concluded that an officer was entitled to qualified immunity for arresting a citizen under Oklahoma's obstruction statute for refusing to answer his questions during investigative detention, holding that there was no clearly established precedent recognizing a right to refuse to respond to an officer's questions during a Terry stop. However, the court specifically limited its conclusion to the facts of the case, which were unique because the suspect was under a judicial order requiring the defendant to answer the exact kind of questions that she refused to answer during the Terry stop. As the 10th Circuit later explained when discussing the Koch case and the 2012 case of Kaufman versus Higgs, quote, "We held that it was not unreasonable for the officer to think that Ms. Koch had a legal obligation arising from the judicial order to reveal the information he requested, despite Ms. Koch's countervailing Fifth Amendment rights." The court then concluded that officers did not have arguable probable cause to arrest an individual for refusing to answer a question when they had no legal duty under a statute, subpoena, or judicial order to aid the police in their investigation, determining that it was not reasonable for the officers to believe that the suspect was legally obligated to reveal potentially incriminating information. Accordingly, because Mr. Martin had no apparent legal duty to answer the officer's questions, it is unlikely that a court would conclude that his refusal to answer them constituted obstruction, even if a court found that he was lawfully detained. And if a court were to determine that the officers did not have legal grounds to conduct a Terry stop, which seems more probable, then it is even more likely that an obstruction charge would fail, because, as the 10th Circuit explained in the Kaufman case, the law is well established that a citizen has no obligation to answer an officer's questions during a consensual encounter, which is what the interaction would be considered if the court found the detention to be unlawful.
To reason with you and you're unreasonable.
Reason with me.
It's hard to reason with somebody who's intoxicated anyway, so that makes sense.
Even no indication of being intoxicated.
When we tried to give you the opportunity to show us that you're not intoxicated, and you just want to sit here and argue with us. Like I said, I'm not going to argue with you on the side of the road. We'll just...
You're making zero sense.
But I'm not, you can't tell me where the road is and ends. But I'm not making sense.
Is that where we're back to? We're doing circles?
That's what you pulled me out of.
Hey, you have anything illegal on anything that's going to poke, stick, or stab me? Anything that's going to be illegal? If you consider contraband if you take it into a jail facility.
Kidding me, dude? In the middle of moving.
All right, come on.
Whoa, you're gonna push me out in front of the vehicle? Holy.
Yeah.
I'm scared now.
Have a seat right here. Be careful. Don't hit your knee on the computer mount. It hurts pretty bad. I don't disagree with you.
What's the charge?
Obstruction.
Obstruction of what?
Obstructing me in the performance of my duties.
What duty?
I'm trying to perform an investigation here, and you won't answer any of my questions.
I answered every question you asked me.
Okay.
What questions did I answer?
You didn't answer any of my questions. You just asked more questions and why I needed to know, and I tried to explain it to you.
All of your questions.
So we'll argue about it in court. That's fine.
Tow it and I'll inventory it. Ask somebody here if it's free to stay. I mean, it's partially in the
It's partially in the yeah. So yeah.
I'll have Constantine meet you over there.
Okay.
This is cool. Is this owner in this town? Remember the Chamber of Commerce taking a nap because I worked myself? You ever had a job?
I'll offer you a blood test. Hang on just a second. You have been arrested and you are requested to submit to a test or tests to determine the presence and or concentration of intoxicants in your body. The test will be a blood test. If a blood test is performed, it will be done by approved medical personnel under Oklahoma law. If you complete the state's test, you may have an additional test at your own expense. You are not entitled to consult with an attorney prior to making your decision to submit to the state's test. You may refuse the state's test, but as a consequence, your driving privileges will be revoked or denied. If you are 21 years of age or older and the test is .08 or more alcohol concentration, your driving privileges will be revoked or denied. Will you take the state's test? It's going to be a blood test.
I don't understand. I can't talk to an attorney.
That's correct. This is the implied consent test
Yeah,
request.
I see
Okay.
what it says, but I don't understand. First of all, I didn't do anything wrong. You know I'm not intoxicated. And
I don't know that you're not intoxicated. You have the option to submit to the state's test. I can read it to you again if you would like for more clarification. It's going to be a blood test.
It doesn't really clarify. I mean, what?
This is the state law, and this is what I'm required to read you.
I understand.
Okay,
I
and you
understand
have the right to say that you will or you will not.
So my driving privileges were revoked
if you refuse. So
until when? I mean, that's what I'm just not understanding.
Until you go through the court process and they determine.
This is.
Well, you've been arrested. Okay.
Well, I don't believe.
I don't think that you're. I don't feel that you're drinking alcohol, but I think you're under the influence of something.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm down there slamming heroin. It's halfway between my house and home, or my house and work.
Some kind of drugs, pills, something. So
I'm under the influence of owning a business and working more often than I sleep.
Okay, you want me to read this test again?
No, I'm good.
Or you will not take the state's test?
No.
Okay. 36 prior. You would log down at this time. It says that has refused to take the state's test. All right, go ahead. He's through Oklahoma driver's license. He was just arguing the whole time. He wouldn't tell me anything. Like,
I'll go out there and take a picture on your camera. You gotta be signed on for service.
I am signed on.
Not on your phone.
Tonight on First Amendment Audit, a college student cruising home for dinner gets pulled over for a busted headlight, only to face a full-blown "Are you drunk?" interrogation. The officer insisting on a field sobriety test meets a stone wall. From our guest, "I'm a law student. I don't take tests." Will the cop escalate to obstruction charges or issue a simple ticket? Tune in to see how knowing your rights turns the tables on police intimidation.
Sergeant McLean with the Seneca Falls Police. Pulled you over because you have a headlight out. Where are you coming from tonight?
I'm actually just coming from my house to here to get some dinner.
Okay, how many alcoholic beverages you had tonight?
No.
Nothing?
No, sir.
Alright, you're all good. You said no alcohol tonight?
No, hell no. I don't drink.
It
No.
smells something fruity. What's that?
I don't know. Probably my Pepsi or something.
I was looking for impaired drivers this
Oh
evening.
yeah, I don't take those tests.
You don't?
No.
Why not? I'm performing an investigation right now.
Okay. I don't take tests.
Why not?
No, I am a law student for one.
You don't answer any questions?
No, I'm
Why?
not.
Why is that?
Because he's trying to give me tests.
It's an investigation to make sure you're safe to
No.
drive, alright? That's all it is. If you're not drinking tonight, there's no way you're taking a test.
I just don't do it. I'm sorry. If you're getting any clue of intoxication, you need to go back to school.
Well, what I want to do is check your eyes to make
I'm
sure you're okay to drive.
absolutely not doing that, sir.
Why
Can't
is that?
believe that you think I...
No, if you had nothing to drink tonight, this would show that you had nothing to drink.
I've been through law school and everything else. I do not comply.
You don't comply with the lawful order.
You're giving me an order to take a test.
I'm advising you to take sobriety tests to make sure you're okay to
Sir,
drive your
I
vehicle.
will not take a test. You pulled me over for a headlight.
That's correct.
Now you're pushing it.
I'm not pushing you. I'm just doing an investigation.
Just because somebody has glossy eyes doesn't mean anything.
Yes, it's a watering glassy eyes. That's a
Okay.
sign of intoxication.
Many people have that, sir.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I never.
Just because somebody has glossy eyes doesn't mean anything.
Yes, it's a sign from our training and experience.
Okay.
It's a sign of intoxication.
Okay. Well. Okay. So what are you gonna do with this, sir?
Sit tight with this guy real fast.
I'm always there.
All right, man. There's no disrespect between me and you. I'm just
sir.
doing my job.
Yes, sir.
You don't want to perform tests.
No, sir.
Which I understand. You don't have to if you choose not to.
And again, it's no disrespect.
Yeah, no,
it's just
understood.
that I know my right.
Right. Understood. Understood. So I'm going to write you a ticket for the headlight. Okay.
Okay.
Do you mind just stepping back in your car for me, please?
Absolutely.
So I can get that going. Just hop back in the front. Hop back in the driver's seat.
I just want to back. So weird. Because I just literally replaced that one back late.
Right. Okay.
Shit.
But you can do that. You can go home and get inside. And
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago.
Okay.
So yeah.
There'll be a fix-it ticket for the headlight, and then you'll have until Monday to get it fixed on.
Till Monday.
Yeah, because it's usually the next business day. But
now, what do I do with that? Do I bring it
just
to the sheriff or not sheriff?
You can go. Literally, you can go to any. You can go to a mechanic to sign off on it.
Okay.
A law enforcement officer. There's
You're gonna write me a ticket just for that? For real?
We're doing traffic enforcement tonight.
You cut me out here all this time. You're gonna write me a ticket for that?
Doing traffic enforcement, sir.
All right, buddy. What's your name, sir?
Sergeant McLean.
Do you have a card?
I do have a card. It'll be on my name will be on the ticket as well.
All right, sir. I appreciate
Just give me a moment, please. I was calling to see if we could do a possible obstruction charge for not wanting to provide submit the standard field sobriety test. You can do an obstruction charge.
Kept backing away from me, so I don't.
So did you get? I got a whiff of like a fruity alcoholic beverage.
In the car.
Yeah, that's the odor I was getting from the vehicle, which is what I explained to him. And then his eyes were glassy and watery.
And then I couldn't, like, he kept backing away from me when I was trying to talk to him.
Right. Okay.
But he wouldn't, like, I couldn't get a strong enough.
He was also steadying himself on the hood of the car. He was talking to us. He kept touching it.
But his eyes were glassy and watery.
Claiming allergies.
My odor out of the car wasn't strong enough for me.
Did you get strong enough? Did you get a strong odor out the car?
I could smell it.
So I don't know. He says he delivers food and whatnot, so it could be some sort of food he's delivering. That's what he's claiming.
How's the RO Dearborn is going to be?
I tried calling a DA, but they didn't answer their phones. I was going to call for an obstruction OGA charge because I'm asking for sobriety tests. Then I called Lieutenant Claire, and he said that done that in the past, and they don't. It's not something they could.
So is that you just cut your losses then? Because I mean, he could be a .10 right now.
It's it's hard to tell. It's like you're 50-50 here. Is that something you're going to take him back and arrest him for? So.
What's his history?
He also said that if you feel like he's kind of on the fence, you can have him call a licensed operator to come pick him up.
He won't do that though.
So I'll just cut him a headlight ticket.
Alright, you want us to hang out?
Yeah, just one of you guys can hang out if you want.
Okay.
You're in North, Colin? Yeah, you can hang out then.
Oh, is that an animal problem? I'll take care of that.
Yeah, if you want to, that's fine.
Alright.
So I smell the odor of.
Pulled over.
Yeah.
Feels like there's some. That's pretty ridiculous to just.
What I could tell him is that he's gonna have to call someone who could get him then, because he's not willing to provide tests, so I can't determine if he's intoxicated or not. That's what's gonna come down to then.
One way or another, officers will find a way to ruin your day.
We can't determine. I mean, safest bet's going to be okay. We didn't get the DWI, but at least he's going to be getting home safe. We know that for a fact.
Right. So you got a citation for inadequate headlight.
Okay.
So you wanted to speak to a supervisor of mine.
Okay.
So I notified my lieutenant on the phone.
Okay.
He's aware of what's going on.
Perfect. Thank you.
So I can't determine if you're okay to drive or not.
Mm-hmm.
So you refused the sobriety test.
Yes, sir.
I told you have signs from my training experience of intoxication.
Yes, sir.
You have slowed, mumbled speech.
Mm-hmm.
You have watery and glassy eyes.
I know what you said, sir.
Okay, and I smell an odor of an alcoholic beverage emanating from inside the vehicle.
Okay.
So I don't know if you can drive or not. So you're gonna have to call someone to pick you up to drive.
Okay.
Understood? So that's what...
Okay. You want me to call someone right now?
That's correct.
What am I going to do with this vehicle? Leave it here overnight?
I will let them know to stay here.
Okay.
Okay?
Alright, yeah, let's do that. Sounds good.
So that's issue your license?
Alright.
You wanted a business card as well, you said?
I do, yeah.
So
I'll grab my phone.
That's fine.
That's alright. We can play this game.
I'm not playing any games, sir.
Sir, you're being very disrespectful. I will file a complaint.
I've never been disrespectful to you.
Sir, you are being very disrespectful.
This is all recorded on body camera.
You have pushed this above over a
I have not, sir.
Okay.
This is all recorded on body camera.
Excellent. I appreciate that.
No problem.
I have it all recorded as well, sir.
That's fine.
I guess that's it then. Yeah, just give me your number.
Here's the contact number. Here's a citation. You have a court date of August 14th at 12 p.m. in the Town Center Falls Court.
Yes, sir.
For the correction ticket, you have to get it corrected by Monday.
I will. Yes, sir.
And have it signed off by a mechanic or a police officer. Okay.
You got it. Yes, sir.
This is my business card right here, sir.
All right.
The citation. Like I said, my lieutenant's been made aware of the situation.
Lieutenant, what's his name?
Lieutenant Clear.
Clear, yes, sir.
He's been made aware of the situation.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions for us, sir?
That's it.
All right. Have a good rest of your night.
On tonight's First Amendment audit, we dive into a shocking encounter. A hard-working gig worker falls asleep in his parked car, only to be violently pulled out and pinned by nearly a dozen officers. No warrant, no real threat, just a mistaken magazine in plain view. Watch as the Baltimore PD stacks up, rips open car doors without announcing themselves, and drag an innocent man from his backseat at gunpoint. You'll see how a simple, lawful right to rest becomes a nightmare of unlawful search, rough takedown, and a panicked interrogation that leaves the victim traumatized. Don't miss this brutal example of officers overstepping their authority, and learn why your right to record might be the only thing standing between you and a similar fate.
Over there. 31. Can someone actually bring a bunker down here? We got one, but more the merrier. The mag is right up here. If you don't see it by the keys.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. I didn't see what the.
Is there any weapons near him?
I didn't see that. There's a gun. Want me to go hands with you?
That's fine. Oh, no, you got yours out. Bella, go hands with me, okay?
I got.
So stack up on one side. Stack up on one side.
Now, without exigent circumstances, probable cause that criminal activity was afoot, or, at the very least, reasonable articulable suspicion. Nearly a dozen officers stack on Luttrell's vehicle, preparing to pull him out by his feet as he lay fast asleep, after unlawfully opening his doors and entering his vehicle, and without ever announcing themselves as police.
Get out the car! Come on! Get out the car! Get out the car! I got hands! Get on the ground! On the ground! On the ground! Get on the ground! On the ground! On the ground right now! I got cuffs! I got cuffs! Yep. What is that? Stop! Get up! Get up!
Stop moving.
Hurry, buddy. What did they do? Open there. We have him under arrest. Round the thing.
Did we get 32?
10-4. He's in custody.
Alright, look, I'm going to be on video before you guys.
Let me get out.
Service? I ain't got none.
The mag's in the front right there.
There's a live, 2 live runs right there, and the magazine is on the seat.
And we have a level 1 use of force. And I'm involved.
No firearm was found following the officers' unlawful search of Luttrell's vehicle and person, and despite several years of experience with the department, Officer Fieser discovered a magazine pouch, commonly known as a mag holster, but appeared unfamiliar with the item, mistaking it for a possible holster for an exceptionally small firearm. He had to consult multiple superiors to identify the object found during his illegal search.
Is that a holster? Is that a holster? Is this a holster? Is this a holster?
You're probably for the magazine.
Hey, V.
For the magazine.
I think, is this a small holster?
It's for the magazine.
That's for the magazine.
Somebody put the magazine in.
Okay.
Do you check the clothes on the gun first?
It's Scott, because one right there, the magazine.
No one check under the seat.
During the excitement of finding a lawfully possessed mag pouch, Luttrell was being interrogated by other officers.
You know about the magazine that's on the front seat?
Yeah, it's mine.
Okay, where the gun to go to the magazine?
I don't have it. I thought this was the safest place to sleep tonight.
Is this your vehicle? Yes. Registered to you?
You have your ID on you? You had the right to man side. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. Excuse me. You had the right to talk to a lawyer, have him or her present with you before any questions. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questions if you wish. If you decide to at any time exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements, do you understand each and every right that I just read to you?
Yes, sir.
Alright. Having this in mind, do you wish to talk to us? Yes or no?
Is there a crime that's been committed?
Having this in mind, do you wish to talk to us? Yes or no?
I don't see a problem with.
So I just need yes or no, then we go from there.
Sure.
Okay. So as of right now, like I said, you better stop because one, you parked right here on the side of the road, and you have a magazine on your front seat.
Okay, but is that illegal?
I mean, are you allowed to have weapons?
Yeah.
You got a gun permit?
Do I need one for ammo?
You need one for ammo.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
You got the gun with it? You don't have the gun with it, then we go from there.
Where's the weapon at?
I don't have it.
Where's it at?
It is with Virginia.
Virginia's in Virginia?
Can you hold this?
And you reside in Maryland or you reside in Virginia?
I reside in. I just moved to Maryland right now.
Shut up, fella.
Where is it you live in Virginia?
I'm sorry, man. Sorry, my car. Cause like, I got a really nice job that I like.
Just have a seat right there. We're not. We just need to put you somewhere because we're gonna move that car. Okay.
Lytrell suffers a panic attack as during their questioning, he is moved into a police cruiser, during which one of the officers makes phone calls to see if he is on the prohibited persons list.
I just spoke to Maryland Gun Center. He's not in the system as being prohibited. Okay. So, thank you. I'll go investigate.
For nearly half an hour, the officers dissected every square inch of the vehicle, leaving it in complete disarray.
Where's the mag at? Show the front seat.
I'm not sure who grabbed it.
Okay.
Trash mixed with personal belongings thrown around the interior, clothing and blankets tossed onto the cold, wet asphalt, but they still found nothing to justify their unconstitutional invasion of Lytrell's person, papers, and property.
So I think there's your examination, that's it?
That's it.
The supervisor on scene was unfamiliar with this type of situation and called his superior to come to the scene.
Hey, what's up? Hey, have you ever done the use of force? I'm helping you do this one.
A few minutes later, he arrives on scene.
What's going on? What's up? What's going on? You know, they pulled him out the car. One pulled hands on him. I think somebody pointed a gun at him. They got weapons? Yeah, they got a weapon. Okay.
That was obviously a lie. A weapon was never recovered. Curious about why he was needed at the scene for nothing, the LT asked again, but he was lied to once more.
They got weapons. Yeah, they did recover weapons and ammunition.
After being lied to, the LT leaves, ordering his men to complete use of force reports. First, the supervisors asked each officer what happened.
Got done using the bathroom. Was gonna cut down here. Saw the Kia. Thought it looked suspicious. Looked on the front seat. Saw a magazine. Looked back. Saw him sleeping. We had a rifle. Called for another rifle. And we called for a shield.
You had the rifle, so then...
As soon as we opened the door, he woke up.
We opened the door, he woke up. He panicked a little bit.
It was like a lot of young commotion for a second.
He got pulled out of the car.
He pulled his arm, so I grabbed his arm. So he grabbed his hands.
When I opened the door, he started him. I grabbed his arms and pulled him out the car.
Pulled him out the car.
We had hold of him as he was coming out the car.
Got out of the vehicle.
We got out the car, we turned around.
He got on his own? Yeah, no, he got on his own.
Took him to the ground.
As we ordered him to get to the ground, we still had hands on him and guided him down to the ground.
Took him to the ground gently.
I don't think it was use of force. That's the thing. Forceful take down to the ground? No.
They took him down, but they didn't throw him.
Okay.
They just put him.
Went to the ground willingly, and we were just like, we were holding on to him as he was going to the ground.
And that's when I placed handcuffs on him.
Next, the supervisor ordered them to write up a use of force report. to which some of the officers protested, appearing to claim that dragging a law-abiding man out of his vehicle by his feet at gunpoint was no big deal and didn't warrant documentation.
Hey, 95. Not using force, because of the forcible takedown. They said it was a forcible takedown. Hey! Get out the car! Come on, get out the car! Sergeant said it was a forcible takedown, so. Get out the car! I got hands. Yeah, I had to get on the ground. He willingly went to the ground, but we were just still holding on to him as he was going to the ground. Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Tell him to get on the ground, go to his knees, and not a forcible takedown, but. Okay.
On the ground right now. I got cuffs. Yep.
Sometimes you want to send it to right 95. I don't have to do that whole.
I gotta check it out. I think you gotta do like the comms and everything. Wow.
Stop. Get up.
Stop moving.
One of the most surprising things to hear was that nearly every member on scene had less than 5 years on the job.
How many years, Journal? 3 years complete.
Hey, how many years you got complete? 2. How many years you got complete? 3. Hey, how many years you got complete? 4.5. 4.5 years.
Finally, they worked on deciding whether to release Littrell.
So they're letting them go. This wouldn't be. They said investigative side, right?
Yeah, that's what you said.
They still take pictures of him since it was a level 1. They took him down to the ground.
It's gonna be released or?
I don't know. Somebody said it was going to be investigative stop. Well, I mean, it's all.
As long as you have ammunition.
Are you locking them up? No.
I can't lock them up just for the bullets.
It's a shame that none of the officers knew they couldn't do much of anything they did to Littrell, just for bullets.
I'm Sergeant Mustafa, and just to let you know, you have the audio and video recorded, alright? In a minute, they're gonna cut you loose, alright? But before we cut you loose, I just gotta take pictures of you, okay?
Okay, my face looks terrible.
It's not going nowhere.
Yeah, is there like a towel or something at least?
A towel?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if I need napkins. They give me napkins? Okay, give me a second. Let me see if I can find some.
Let me know, man. If I'm a bad person, just let me know, man.
I don't know.
It's free. It's not prohibited.
Give me a second. Let me see if I can find something.
Alright, can you send me the number for MSP?
Can I just uncuff him now?
Alright, thanks.
Oh, that's different. Alright, you mind if I wipe your face?
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna leave this here for you. I just gotta take these pictures real quick, okay?
45 minutes after first approaching his vehicle, the officers finally start wrapping up and prepare Littrell to be released.
Yeah, you can step out. We're gonna get you on the off handcuffs. You're not under arrest. We're gonna let you go. We're gonna explain everything. We're gonna give you your names and all that stuff, okay?
You guys make trash.
Yeah, we'll get you. We're gonna take your handcuffs off.
That's C10 now.
I'm definitely taking tomorrow.
Before he is set free, the officers explain why he isn't under arrest without ever explaining the unlawfulness of their actions.
So the reason you're not being charged for the ammunition is because you're not prohibited by the state of Maryland. That's why. If you would have been prohibited by the state of Maryland, then yes, it would be illegal to carry ammunition. At the beginning, we encountered you. We did not know that, and we believed you were armed.
Okay.
And then it was we saw the magazine within the span of your arms, so we're assuming that you were armed. Okay.
Again, being armed is not enough to establish the minimum requirements for detention, let alone entering and forcing him out of his vehicle and searching through all of his belongings. The traumatic experience triggered asthma symptoms, and because he requested to use his inhaler prior to being released, the officers kept him detained for even longer as they waited for an ambulance to assess him, even though Littrell denied needing emergency care.
Do you have any questions? No? You can sit in your car if you're cold, you grab a blanket. The medic's are going to be here, and you don't have to freeze here, okay?
Be good, man.
Alright, might need it here so I can take care of this lady down there.
Go take it. Take it. Alright.
good?
Yeah, I'm good. All right, then.
Medics arrived on scene. Luttrell told them they weren't required, and the medics left. He tells me that the experience left him haunted, and that he had trouble sleeping for nearly a year after the incident. Luttrell finally filed a complaint in February of 2025, 12 months after the encounter. It took the department 2 months for them to assign an investigator to the case. Since April, he has not received an update, and the case remains open. I'm helping Luttrell find legal counsel to pursue civil action in this matter, but I'm curious what you think of this interaction, so let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this story, be sure to check out another one, linked on screen.
On today's First Amendment audit, an OG auditor casually strolls onto private property with his camera, only to be met by bumbling officers demanding IDs and barking orders. With sharp comebacks, a calm demeanor, and bold assertions of his rights, he effortlessly highlights their ignorance and turns their intimidation tactics into comic relief. Trust us. You won't want to miss how he punked those cops and rallied support for his freshly terminated channel.
Yes, sir.
How are you? I'm filming too.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So you can take pictures. Just don't take pictures of private cars or private people here.
Why?
Because I'm asking you not to.
But I could though, right? You're just asking?
I'm just asking.
Cool. Is that what you came over here to tell me?
Just standing here.
Why?
Why not? It's the last day.
Are you trying to intimidate me?
Nope. You're trying to intimidate me?
Oh man. Can I help you though, or?
No, can I help you? Did you get your application for scope?
No.
Okay.
Did someone tell you to follow me?
Nope.
No.
Do you have a hot second real quick? Sure. So I'm actually meeting with him.
So how come we can't record these?
No, I'm just asking you not to.
Oh.
Do you want me to go up there and record your car?
If you want.
Okay. I didn't even see a car you drove in on.
Probably because I dropped in my hot air balloon. You guys, something illegal going on here, or?
I don't know.
How come you're worried? You didn't pay your tags?
I'm doing something.
Did you not pay your tags?
Did I not pay my tags?
Yeah.
What tags?
To your personal
I
car?
have a personal car.
Oh. So, are you working today?
Yep.
Are you on call?
Am I on a call? No, not right now.
No. Just checking on me, or what?
No, I'm just standing here watching the clouds. Nice day, huh?
But I thought you were supposed to be working.
I am.
That's not working. We don't pay you to watch the clouds, man.
Did you pay taxes here in Mariposa?
Paying taxes when we go to the store and we buy a soda or stuff like that. Did you know that's paying taxes?
That goes to the state, yeah.
Yeah, that's paying taxes. Everybody pays taxes. Did you know that?
No, but listen, I want your IDs, please.
No.
What did I do?
Why? Yeah, we gotta commit a crime.
Well, no, you don't have to commit a crime.
Yes, we
You're
do.
doing suspicious behavior.
Yes.
You got a call for suspicious behavior.
What's your name and badge number?
Yeah.
Can you back up? Because you're a little too close.
No, see, I can get right here.
Are you trying to intimidate me?
I'm not trying to intimidate you, but you're in front of the police
Kind of looks like you are. We're not doing nothing wrong.
Because you know you're being recorded too.
That's fine. I'm glad that you are. Are you recording?
For example, if you're coming
Can you call for a supervisor? Because this guy's very.
He's a supervisor.
I don't see no stripes.
Does he have to have stripes to be a
This guy's being aggressive towards us?
We're asking you questions and then
I don't know.
Well, see, the thing is, I have an issue with you guys coming in and not coming and talking to
Who has an issue?
I do.
Why?
We're not even trying to go inside.
Yeah, she said you went inside. She has video.
Yeah?
Fine. I would love to
Show us the video.
Because nobody went inside.
Show us the video.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys were standing here and pointing your flashlight camera right there.
Oh, so we didn't go inside though.
So because he's flirting with
So why were you guys
we were just walking right here.
Hold on.
Your flashlight up there.
Hold on.
Because you know that I can't talk. Can you turn the camera off?
No, it's for our
At
safety.
least turn the light on.
It's
You don't see a light on
No,
my
no,
camera.
I'm not trying to go
Because I can do the same thing.
That's fine,
I
huh?
can sit here and do this all day long, right? That's not
That'd be violating my rights, though.
Why? You're violating my rights.
You're violating my First Amendment.
I mean, I would understand if you were to be suspicious if I was actually doing what he's saying. That I walked in, walked out,
Yeah.
you know, but...
Do you guys have a supervisor, though?
I'm the supervisor.
Higher than you?
It is pathetic, and it blows my mind how cops can be this dumb. Not knowing simple basic laws, well, especially the one that he's breaking here, which he's trying to shine his flashlight into this man's camera lens, which that's considered prior and restraint. A straight violation of this man's First Amendment right.
Yeah, we need someone above you. Well, you guys don't know the First Amendment. You guys were in the city of, was it Kalinga?
I don't know, are you?
We're in the city of Kalinga, and these guys are harassing us.
Harassing you?
Yeah.
I see what you were doing.
That's none of your business.
Pointing your flashlight into our parking
That's not, we're not committing a crime, though.
You're pointing your flashlight at our camera.
What's wrong with that? Is that against the law? Is that against the law, though?
It's suspicious. That's why we're here.
Is suspicious a misdemeanor or a felony? Is it? No. You can talk to me, but I don't have to answer any questions.
So I can ask you to leave.
You can ask, but we don't have to, because this is public.
You know, you would think that it was like weird behavior.
Why are you trying to blind my flashlight?
Well, because you guys are shining lights in our face.
Well, you don't have to be here. Can I help you?
Okay. So I just talked to the bank manager. He doesn't want you guys anywhere on the property. So if you guys go trespass
Hey,
on the
real
property,
quick, man, just don't
don't
give directives.
Are you gonna listen to me?
No, we don't want to hear directives.
Okay. Just let you know though.
Just
you go on the property.
We don't want to hear directives, man. We don't want to hear directives.
Okay.
Thank you, though. You're dismissed. Thank you. You're dismissed. Yeah. You mind going?
No, I don't have to listen to you.
Why?
Because I want an official call.
But it's over, though.
Not over till I say so.
Your officer just left.
Yeah, because he's pulling in.
But we already talked to him.
Cool.
Your ego's getting in the way. Code 4.
Yeah, you go back on the property, you're getting arrested for trespass.
Alright, man, you go on the property too, you will get arrested. Dismissed, thank you. You guys got a complaint form?
No.
Why not?
I mean, no. There's no supervisors there right now.
You don't know where a complaint form is?
You're supposed
Why?
to have readily available. You have a complaint form. I'm not a supervisor, so I don't carry them with me.
You don't need to be a supervisor to have complaint forms.
Is there anything else I can help you?
Yeah, we need a complaint form.
Man, we know you have it. Give us 2 so we can get one on you too, Wells.
Pussy.
So I'll get you guys right in your name and phone numbers, and then we'll have a...
No.
Happen, man. No? Okay. Well, then that's fine.
Don't act dumb, man. We know how it works.
Okay.
Can we get a complaint form?
No, you have to have it filled out with a supervisor.
That's not true. That's not true, man. You're breaking policy.
So basically, you guys are the dirty ones, huh?
Sure, you bet.
Can you spit out your chew?
Spit out your chew.
Awesome. Can I get your name and badge number?
Sure. It's going to be Jose Puga, and badge number is 306.
306. Thank you.
All right, man. You have a good day.
Oh, real quick.
Yes, sir.
You mind if I pat you down?
No.
No. You don't mind?
You're not going to do it.
You don't?
I wouldn't mind, but I'm not going to let you do it.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought you were gonna let me.
No.
You know it.
I'm just asking, because when I write you a
I
citation,
don't
I need
answer
to know your
questions.
address.
Can you not stand behind me? You guys don't like when people stand behind you? I don't feel comfortable. Sir, keep your hands where I can see them. You mind keeping your hands where I can see them? You mind keeping your hands where I can see them? Just for my safety.
For your safety, you want me to keep my hands where you can see them?
Yeah. You mind for my safety and yours placing your hands on top of your head?
You know, I got to step in. I got to go to work.
Oh, okay. All right, man.
All right, man.
You take care.
We take your picture.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
That way, if we have any issues, we got no way to go back.
Oh, like if someone breaks in again, you're gonna blame it on me? Why would you do that?
Just don't be taking pictures of our facility, all right?
But you said if someone else breaks in, that you're gonna blame it on me?
I'm not gonna blame it on you, but we need somebody. If something happened, you would be a person of interest.
How would you be able to find who I
You can
am?
take pictures all you want, just don't take pictures of this facility.
I have to.
No, you don't.
I do.
No, go.
Where?
Go. Keep going.
This is public property, man.
No, keep going. This is our property.
This ain't your property.
Get out of here.
No.
You're not taking pictures of our facility.
I can take pictures of your facility.
Call the sheriffs. Now see what you did?
What do they do?
You gotta get the sheriffs.
Why?
Because you're taking pictures of our facility. He's filming our whole facility. And he will not stop.
You should like
pictures of him.
You should get like a 10-foot like
you need to
black.
Go
where?
the sheriff gets here.
This is private property. We don't allow pictures.
Why are you taking a picture?
Because that way we'll know who you are.
Yep.
How are you gonna know who I am by a picture?
Don't worry.
Okay.
Just keep moving. Go.
I don't have to move. This is public property.
No.
You see these
right
telephone pole wires right here?
Move.
Yeah, it's on our property.
This is our property.
This ain't your property.
Yeah.
This is a public road.
Move.
You see this fence right here?
You're in
on the other side. On the other side of that fence, that's your property.
Our property goes over here.
No, it doesn't.
Quit filming.
I don't have to.
Let's get the sheriffs. Then we have a trespasser.
Yep. Call the sheriffs. Hey, you know you can get a ticket for riding that in the road? Where I'm from, we'll get a ticket real quick, man. You can't be riding those out on the road like that. You can get me shot, man.
No, we're gonna sit here and follow you until you leave our property.
I'm not gonna leave nowhere.
You will when the sheriff gets here.
I'll bet you $5.
I wouldn't bet you shit.
Why? Where you going?
He's not gonna leave, Mike. He's still filming.
It is amazing how video cameras can be this powerful, especially if you have someone that's brave enough to use it to promote transparency and to hold the government accountable.
What do you mean come over here and talk to you? I don't have to talk to you.
Yes, you do. Okay.
Says who?
Let me finish. Okay. They're calling and saying that you're creating a traffic hazard over here. What are you doing?
Really?
Yes, really. That's why I'm here.
Well, they're lying.
I'm not here playing around, okay?
I'm not here playing around either.
Okay. Well, what's the reason?
What's your name and badge number?
Thomas.
Thomas?
THOMAS 421-421. That's my badge number.
All right, you're dismissed, Thomas.
I'm not dismissed.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, no, you're being detained right now.
For what?
are you doing
What crime did I commit?
You're creating a traffic hazard. They're calling it in.
How?
And you're not wanted here. That's how.
The fuck, I'm on public. I'm not on their property.
What are you doing here?
None of your business.
It is.
No, it's
If
not.
I'm getting calls for this, it is my business.
Where's your supervisor?
Right here.
Are you the supervisor? Yeah, he's the supervisor. You're not gonna correct her? Here, go ahead. Oh, no problem. Will you let her know that I have the right to record right here?
Yeah, what are you going to do? Just
Huh?
stuff or?
Then just recording, man. It's not my fault that they didn't like it.
I didn't say you couldn't record. Okay.
Let's go find out what they want.
Huh? But when we have calls,
You're dismissed.
then that's a bad.
You're dismissed.
I'm not dismissed.
Bye bye.
Because you're not my boss.
You're dismissed. I am.
But it's still a reason for me to make contact with you.
Now that you found out, you mind leaving us alone now?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm just trying to get it.
You do mind?
Huh?
You do mind?
Is any one of you on probation or parole?
Are you?
on probation?
I'm not. No.
Can I see your ID just
Are you?
real quick, just to make
Yeah,
sure?
here you go. It's right here. It's Emerson.
Oh,
My badge number's 126.
Driver's license?
I don't. Not with me.
Oh.
You don't happen to have a driver's license on you?
What's that?
You don't happen to have a driver's license on you?
I do.
You mind if we see it real quick?
I do mind.
Okay. We just want to know who we're talking to.
Yeah, I showed you. It's Officer Emerson, and my badge number's 126.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was the area code. I don't know why.
come on.
916.
Yeah.
916.
Emerson, real quick, you mind if I pat you down?
You mind if you pat me down?
Just for our safety?
Do you mind if I pat you down?
I do.
Do you? Then I mind if you pat me down too.
Okay.
I kind of mind.
Just a question, you know?
Yeah.
I'm married. I'll let you, but I'm married, so I can't do it.
I appreciate that. Do you guys need anything else?
No.
Do you have any questions for me?
How's it going? Going good? You're not here, man.
What are you doing out here?
I got called out.
Oh, I'm just out here.
What's your name?
What's your name?
Officer Smith.
I'm Tulare.
It's Larry?
Yeah.
Cool, you're just out here just hanging out.
Yeah.
Cool.
You got any ID on you, sir?
Do I have any ID on me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You mind if I see it real quick?
What's that?
For my safety.
For your safety.
To know who I'm talking to, too.
Okay. Well, Officer Smith, badge number is 14100. Alright. So, you can do whatever you want out here. You can record, you can do whatever you want. That's fine. Virgo Brothers are calling. Just don't go on their property inside the gates, okay? It's not cool. Is that cool, Slayer?
It's cool.
Alright, have a good day.
You too, man. Oh, sir? You mind if I pat you down real quick?
Pat me down?
Yeah. The people are asking if I could pat you down.
That's okay.
All right, man.
You have a good day.
You too. I tried.